Okay, so we're switching gears now to some other interesting discussions as it relates to 2027. We're counting now just less than 2 years to the next general elections in February of 2027. And of course, you know, the numbers are aligning and the political alignment is, you know, gathering clouds. But I don't know what sides you are on, but again, some of the persons who are aligning to come together are those who did the same thing in 2014. Would they do the same this time and then grab power and then, you know, let us down that tunnel that we are right now? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe there'll be different faces and different coalition this time. But of course, to unpack this particular topic, especially as it relates to 2027, is the Dr. Augustine Okolie. Is a management and development consultant. Thank you so much, Dr. Augustine Okolie, for your time. Good morning.
Charles, thank you for having me. You're welcome, viewers.
Right. Before we talk about the 2027 coalition, we have had an incident in Oji River local government area where some policemen were killed. We had the local government chairman speak to us about the incident. I'm sure that you are also concerned because you live in Enugu. What's your perspective to what has happened?
Well, thank you, Charles. I not only live in Enugu, I am from that area.
Okay.
You know, I'm from Oji River, very close. It's an unfortunate incident that we got. People attacking the law enforcement agencies, particularly the police. But I can also saw the people who were being interviewed. You know, interviewed the traditional ruler, interviewed the chairman of the security group. They also interviewed the local government chairman, and so on. I can also hear what they were saying. I think exactly almost 24 hours after the incident. There is this thing about information dissemination, information flow. There is this thing about structures, and you know, there's this thing about denial of facts and putting facts on the table so that you can find solution to the problem. Enugu State is a relatively stable, almost crime-free, and a lot of people are enjoying what is going on, being the new perspective of security being under control. But a lot needs to be improved. There is still room for improvement. However, I want to comment on the operations of the police, the budget they make for police, the police welfare, and the modus operandi of police. This idea of putting yourself on the road as a sitting duck, as a soft spot, police people with arms and ammunition just got killed. Killed and their weapons taken, their vehicle burnt. It's not a good sight to behold. It's a very, very unfortunate incident. But I think that when you do something and do it again, and the results are not, good, you change. You change. I don't know why police people, particularly those on duty in the field, should not carry body cam. That's what they call body camera. Body camera is censorship. So that as body cam and even body mic, so as you engage in situations in the field, you can also, people can now hear what you say and what the other person is saying. They see the person, immediately you are recovered. They will also, because those body cameras and body mic are installed on the body of the policeman on duty, particularly on patrol, so that it will be easier to investigate what truly happened. Because all these eyewitness accounts, this thing happens in a jiffy. Within 5 minutes, it is all done. But when they kill policemen on duty and still have time to go and set their vehicle on fire, it means that it's not something that is not premeditated. So I think that apart from having CCTV installed in various strategic positions, not only in the city, but in the hinterlands, in the villages and the rural areas, we have a central command in the government house. Why not also in the local government offices? Why is it not like what I saw in Kano West, the time the former chairman was there? There is, you monitor the whole in Kano West in a circuit camera. Even telephones can be activated. Immediately an incident is reported. Immediately something happens, so that the chain of security will be around the entire state, so that even these denials, even this guesswork, because when the information, the facts are not put on the table, then you leave a lot of things to speculations. People begin to speculate. I can also hear when they are saying we don't know the number of people that were killed. That is not information management. It's not the job that they are doing. Because, for instance, as a local government chairman, they are supposed to be resident in their local government. And if you are a resident in your local government headquarters, as it should be, like even governor ordered, then you should be working closely with the DPO, the DCO, the chairman, and even the deputy chairman. If they are resident in the local government headquarters, this type of incident will be dealt with immediately. Even if the criminals have done their worst, then the recovery process, the investigation, that is why you can easily even pick up the culprits, those who have done that. But as I'm talking to you now, whether it is true or not, like government can come up now and say that those things are in the realms of speculation. That is not true. They can also admit, you put out information for solution. So, but when you say nothing happened, you cover everything, you light up a candle, you hide it under the bushel, then there will be no solution. And we talk about investigations are done for the future, so that references are made. If a policeman on duty, and this issue of carrying arms and soliciting for money on the checkpoints, you concentrate on the money. That is the problem. How can 2 or 3 policemen be on duty and all of them are fired and killed at the same time without even firing a shot? It says a lot about being ready, being, on alert. So when you're in the field, whether it is a war zone or not, no matter how peaceful, you always anticipate trouble, not to cock your gun and carry it up and down. And even we have seen that carrying gun does not stop anything. The proper policing is communication. To police is to communicate, not to carry firearms. And in other climes, like I know, I have worked with the federal agency, and we know that police, policing, if you go to UK and you see in the street, those people, what they carry is communication gadgets. What they need is information. Then if there is need to, attack, if there is need to forestall, then they will be called up. Remember the one they call MOPO, they are called crisis management police, or they call them anti-riot squad. So they don't stay in the streets. They don't work as bodyguards. They don't work as people standing on the street wearing camouflage and, those hoods to show that they are ready to fight. What is important is information and the communication. You have the central, command office. You should also have decentralized local government commands, so that if anything happens, they can call for help. And the same local government, if the chairmen are working properly, as they should, because security should be number one, top on the agenda and top priority. The councillors should also be in their various locations. So if anything happens within an area, begin to talk about jurisdiction. Who is the councillor in that area? What did you see? What did you say? Do you understand? You can also be sent to go and find out. So when the media moves in, then it is easier to sieve the information and circulate information and begin to tell us so people with so and so vehicle, with so and so color, so and so number, if you see them. But they don't know. So that is when you use technology to fight crime, so that you have facts. That the people who have done this is the vehicle they are using, this is the color of the vehicle, This is the type of dress they were wearing. This is the color of their. So police will now go on air and be announcing that if you see so and so vehicle moving, please call so and so number. That is how the police place. Not this area of like we're in Congo where people are fighting, like we are in Afghanistan, like we're in Syria. We are not in Syria. Do you understand? So all this issue of, you see what's going on in the Plateau State, the idea of governor coming out to plead helplessness, they tell you that police is not under their command. It's not true. I have not seen any police that governor have directed to do and he has said no. I want to see one governor report a commissioner of police that something happened, he gave him instruction and he refused. So all this, I'm not in control of police, is begging the question. Yes. So let the governor tell us that he has issued an instruction to a commissioner of police that please, police, do this. Tell your men to do this, and the man say no, sir, I'm not going to do it. You understand? Then we will now know that they are not in their command. They hold security meeting every week. So I think what is going on in Enugu is very, very nice, but we need to follow up with using these body cameras, body mic, using CCTV, and using human beings, information channels, the traditional ruler, the counselor, because even security is local. I think that is why local government system is very important in fighting crime. So in the Enugu, local government system have been put in place. You have a local government chairman, you have their deputy, you have councillors, you have supervisors. Everything is in place. So they have to be working. They have to be working. Information is important. Every word is supposed to be covered. So that if the chairman calls his councillor or his supervisor, please, where are you? Where is your location? Are you aware of this? Please give me information. You get series of information. You ask the councillor, ask the PG, the President General of a company. You call the Igwe. You can't, a lot of people. You call the DPO. You call DCO. I will tell you that before 10 minutes, before 20 minutes, before 1 hour, the chairman will have the information and we can also come out with clearance from the bosses and give the information that we need. And police should also be in a position to track, criminals and from crime scene, not, all this medicine after death. I can see some people lying down there, killed, and their weapons, taken, and their vehicle being burnt. We are losing. It is the state government that bought those vehicles for the police. And essentially, I think they're also fueling it. So you don't know what the federal government is doing with their own budget. It is state governors that are literally funding police.
Right. But I'm just really thinking through it, because again, this government has a command and control center that is located inside the government house that has cameras everywhere that they can apparently look at every local government area just by looking at the screen. So it is easy to track in anybody. But
well, you see, like I said earlier, you have to communicate with somebody. The one in government is supposed to be the central coordinating unit. They should have been, all the local governments should have the same. They should have something you can track, maybe in the bush or in the field, but to have a collaborative information from the local government. That is how it works. So a governor can pick, in fact, immediately anything is reported to the chief security officer, either from those in charge of security or those who are monitoring the CCTV camera or the central command. Something happens in Ozowani, something happens in Isuzu, something happens in Ojiriva or wherever. The first thing you do is to get the information. They will call the local government chairman. If it's not, the deputy. So the deputy and chairman cannot be absent from the local government. And these are the channels and the structures that have to be put in place. This is not money yet. Human beings, the chain of command down. The councillor should know what is happening in his ward. All of them are living in Enugu as we speak. So they will tell you they are running home to go and find out. So what are you doing in the town? What are you doing in the town? Because they're supposed to be on ground. That is the directive. They are not following it. And nobody is even trying to follow it. Because I think that governor should insist that the local government chairman should be in there. So if anything happens, now by now the people will be apprehended as a deterrent. But if they now escape, then they will be encouraged to do more. Yes, you don't know them, they are now called unknown gunmen. But if they are tracked with speed, then they will not try again. Others will be discouraged. So, but this is how you can track it. Why isn't our police as a central body? Each of them in the field does not wear. How much does body camera cost? Body mic. So that when they have issues with even individuals, they can be investigated. Immediately, the police can be arrested. And
but the DRS vehicles have that thing.
No, that is vehicle now. It's somebody that is driving vehicle. When you have altercation with somebody, what the person is saying and what you are saying can easily be reported.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The DRS facility, or the DRS vehicle that the security command and control center has that capacity.
Is it activated?
It is activated.
It's not a case of having it. Did they put it on?
But
the vehicle is now burnt now.
It's not the DRS that's
no, we are talking about what should happen, not what is there. Okay. How many DRS vehicles are in the town? The vehicles should not be everywhere. But somebody is driving vehicle. I'm talking about the individual. The policeman was killed. The policemen were killed. The policeman and the camera and the mic should be an object of investigation to know what happened. Because they will tell you that police should not be everywhere. But with your coverage and your mileage and with technology, you can easily. So because it will happen to take care of deterrent. If you go to commit any crime and they begin to announce you that you are wanted, in fact, they need to see you, where are you? Because somebody is suspecting that you are around that area and you are wearing the same type of cloth or color of cloth that they are describing, then you know that you are in trouble. It's either you surrender yourself for investigation to establish your alibi, or you will now go in or continue to hide and become a fugitive that they are looking for. So if I'm saying that this is what can be done in the future, but this idea of something happens, you hide it, you deny it, it does not stop it. That you are colorblind does not stop rainbow from happening. Because a colorblind person can only see black and white, and can only deny other colors. You will only admit that you have black and white, but you have 7 colors. You have royal beef, red, orange, yellow, blue, green, indigo, and violet.
Doc, let's move into the coalition for 2027. I mean, we've seen the drama. This is your turf. I mean, you have already.
Now we are all monitoring what is going on. What is going on in the politics.
In fact, some persons have even brought in Buhari into the fold. The visit by Atiku and El-Rufai to Buhari in Kaduna the other day had the presidency react and say, blasting El-Rufai for trying to bring in Buhari into their fold. So, with what you are seeing, do you think that the coalition can crop up that can oust Tinubu in 2027?
Well, before I talk about the vicissitudes, the danger, and the reasons, the justification for coalitions, I want to talk about how politicians don't do thorough job. That's what we call doing a thorough job. They don't do thorough job. You look at them, they look so empty. They don't do thorough job. This idea of running around looking for coalition for what? To coalesce to do what? Because politicians and political parties, the political parties will be the vehicle, then the individuals will be the passenger to take them to somewhere. So you have to have what we call ideology. You have to have what we call interest, national interest, group interest, then personal interests. These are the things that drive political activity and political achievements. So they will now tell you that you cannot win election without doing coalition. It's not true. Go to Ghana. You don't coalesce. A party that was defeated came back to win. So it is the people responding to your ideology. It is the people responding to your rhetorics, to your conversation, to your intendments. And they will now say, okay, let us try this person. But can you see that water and kerosene do not mix? So they continue to deceive themselves, thinking they are deceiving people. The reason is because of rigging. If the ballot paper and the results of elections are contingent, are dependent on the votes and the votes count, then why are they coalescing? If this current administration of the federal government do not give the people what they want, they will now change and try another political party. So, but the problem is that they do not want, none of them believe in the ballot papers.
The current administration or the
I mean the government and politicians in Nigeria.
Okay.
I'm talking about everybody. Nobody believes that he can be voted in unless without, doing it by hook or crook. They believe in. Now, they are now planning, what people are now doing is to becoming friends of the judiciary, trying to find a way to lobby, to buy, to, corrupt the judiciary, because incidentally, it is the judiciary now that calls the results. Whatever happens during the elections, nobody holds INEC responsible again. It is the courts that will now say it. So, but no matter how many times they do electoral law reform, it will not work. What they need to reform is the constitution. It is the constitution that will say, Charlie, they have declared you winner. Even if you go to court, will say, go and do it again.
So, but what about
court should not be saying this person is the winner, hand over to him.
Oh, okay.
Court should not be saying that, because it is now the court that decides who becomes governor. It is the court now that decides who becomes the president. That's why they will tell you go to court.
So
it is somebody that appointed the members of the judiciary.
No, but if there's a dispute, the court has to step in. So
no, court will now decide that it's not well done, go and do it again.
To go and redo it?
Yes.
Even with the cost that it comes.
You see, that is the problem we have. So if you buy the court, then whatever happens, you'll be waiting for them at the Supreme Court. So that when you buy them, when you pay them, give them money, they will now rewrite. You can see, if you go to the town, they will tell you that the judiciary is no longer reliable. They cannot rely on nobody, even the courts. Can you see what's going on in the political parties? Supreme Court will interpret party squabbles, internal party democracy. That this is how the party is supposed to, according to their own constitution. The Labour Party, the PDP. Can't you see what is going on? They have adjudicated and given ruling on who is the secretary of PDP. They have done that also, who is the chairman of Labour Party. The people that everybody is claiming victory. Yes, because they can't specifically tell you that, look, Oga, you brought this matter to court, you lost, because on the grounds of constitution, on your own law. Oga, you're also defending, you won. That this judgment, you are the winner. Go and tell them that this is what we said. And in the CTC, after judgment, they say they want to see the CTC. CTC, certified true copy, has never been. If God give judgment, we know that this is the judgment. It's very clear, it's implicit. It is very clear to everybody. So all this hiding of who will type the CTC, because God can give another judgment, then the people who will now type, because somebody will prepare the CTC. Somebody will type, it's a bureaucratic process that somebody will now might go and type another thing and say that this is what CTC means. And the people will now say, okay, this is what they say. Can't we see when George will now say, look, these two cases, this is the winner, this is the loser. Is it not as simple as that? Two persons cannot be right. Two persons who came to, to litigation, the litigants, the plaintiff and the defense teams. After the case, they will tell you that, Oga, you lost, Oga, you won. Is it not as simple as that? Why all this, cloudy, hazy, judgment, particularly from the apex court? They should reduce it so that everybody will understand who lost. They will now say, go back and seek for interpretation. So I am saying that, look, whether coalition will work or not work, the PDP governors have spoken. The party organogram, that's the party hierarchy. Remember, they have various organs of the party. For instance, PDP. They have the Board of Trustees, which is largely advisory. They have the NEC, as National Executive Committee, which is almost the highest body apart from the convention, National Convention. Then they now have the National Working Committee. That's operational officers who work on daily basis in the party. Sometimes they sit in on behalf of the NEC. Now we also have a governors forum, which is not constitutional, but have a voice, because some of the governors are supposed to be funding the parties. Who pays the piper? Essentially, we dictate the tune. And all the people at the National Working Committee were nominated by their governors from the various states. So they have input about the organogram and the internal democratic process in their various political parties. So what I'm saying is this. What I see, I may not be correct, is that the governors do not want the status quo ante bellum in the PDP. You understand? Atiku was given tickets in 2019. He lost, or he was not declared winner because he would tell you that he didn't lose. Now, in 2023, he was also given tickets. And he's also preparing to be given ticket again. That's what the Nigerian situation is. You continue to be on the same thing and continue to complain. You change gear when it doesn't work. Charlie, if gear 1 does not work, you try gear 2. So the PDP governors are now at variance with the Atiku campaign. So Atiku is hoping to come back and win nomination and try again. But from what I see, the governors forum do not want that. Now, the problem the PDP have is a member of the governors forum, Nyesom Wike, that is causing all the problems they have in PDP. And it's possible because of other governors abdicating the funding process, the funding responsibility to one person. Like I said earlier, who pays the piper? So he was able to infuse and put strategic people, the chairman and the secretary and the other committee members in the National Working Committee. So it is difficult to say you want to sack person who put you, who is even giving you money. They are not paid salaries. They're working. It is somebody that put them and they are given stipends and keep them there, pay their, So most of the governors fund it. You nominate somebody, make sure the person is okay to do the job. So you tell the person what to do. So, but if a party is supreme, like they normally mount and tell you that party is supreme, if party is supreme, party's decision is final. Everybody will be subject to party's decision. Now, for instance, in PDP, who is the National Working Committee? When the chairman is not the proper person there, when the secretary is not the proper person there. Now governors now have come out to say, look, we want to take over the party, and this is what we want. They now say the Supreme Court has given their ruling on the secretary. They are not comfortable with the Supreme Court ruling, and the Supreme Court have told them, go and do your party thing. Don't come to court. Even the court rulings at the Federal High Court and Appeal Court are not proper. That it is outside their jurisdiction. Now it means that go home and do your. So the governors have now come and say, look, we don't even want the secretary, but let the assistant secretary be the secretary. And people are saying that they don't have power to do that. So some people might even go to court and say, look, governors, you have stepping your bounds. How can you now come and remove those, So who is the party now? Like in Labour Party, Abure faction says that they are still there. One other man, Akpata, said that he's still there. But Supreme Court was very clear about that one. That look, we have no structures. Go and redo. So the leaders, the governor of Abia State, the former presidential candidate, they now come together and put up a caretaker committee, like an interim measure, so that they will now begin from congresses, from ward, local government, zonal, state, and they will come to the National Working Committee and they still have time to put those structures. Apart from Anambra election that is very close, the caretaker will now hold sway until they now form a structure. In PDP, it's a simple thing. It's the chairman and the secretary that is the problem there. So they were put there by former governor Nyesom Wike, the minister, who is working for the opposition party. So he cannot be working for the opposition party and also be determining what happens in the party. So that is why we have problem. So from what I see, the incumbent president might still come back because it is now fire brigade in the areas of opposition parties. The Labour Party is not there. SDP is still forming. PDP is almost gone because
they have 11 governors. So
they have 11 governors who are speaking differently from the party hierarchy. What the governors are saying, coming from Edo and Oyo State, is different from what the party is saying.
No, Atiku made a statement on his own. The party hierarchy did not say that.
Who is the party hierarchy? The party secretary and the chairman is still in question mark, is still on their head. Yes, the acting national chairman of PDP is not supposed to be there. His tenure is over. He's coming from Northeast. So the national chairman should come from North Central. And he has spent money and continue to change the date and postpone the date of NEC. Because NEC meets, they cannot have power. It is only NEC that have power to remove him. So and he's the one who's supposed to call the meeting. Nobody commits political suicide. So they will continue until the last time. And if they reach that time, they might not even go for the election.
By this time, they would have actually had who is supposed to be the chairman of the party.
Yes, because the man there cannot be removed. They are running away from fight. You see, sometimes we need to fight and fight finally, so that you declare who wins and who is in charge. But PDP has been hesitant, behaving as if there is a drunk in the Chinese shop. And if they confront the drunk, then the Chinese ways will all get spoiled. But you need to fight someday and decide whether we are going to stay or we are not going to stay. So what you can see that Anambra people, nobody wants to pick a form, because who will sign the form? Who is the legitimate person to sign the form? Who is the secretary? Who will, constitute the delegates? Who will constitute the panel and the appeal panel in the screening exercise going towards the November election in Anambra State? So you can see that so many people are living at the national parliament. Both House of Rep and Senate are just leaving because they have division. That division they are running away is already there at the national level. So people are leaving. You can see Ned Nwoko leaving to APC. You can see a lot of people leaving. So many people are leaving the PDP. So now going to the election, if they don't do it now and they wait till December and they don't succeed, then they may not possibly run, have candidates or participate in the election of 2027. And that is what exactly the APC wants.
So in terms of the coalition right now, I mean, we've seen a lot of people make moves. El-Rufai, moved to the SDP. We've seen, I think we mentioned the coalition, the PDP governors only yesterday or so, saying that they're not, going to coalesce with anybody. That in fact, people are open to come to them for that coalition. I don't know whether it is stemmed from the fact that the Labour Party said something in the past, recently, from Dati. Dati was saying that they won that election with 10 million votes. So all these other parties should be subservient to them. So they are not moving to coalesce with anybody. So
let me tell you. Charlie, let me tell you about the current coalition. They move. They will always refer to 2014 coalition. But it is entirely different from this coalition. That coalition was political parties of like minds, of like interest.
Was it really like minds?
Of course.
Like minds?
No, I am coming. You see, that is why I was not so quick to discuss the issue of the coalition, of Rainbow Coalition. People with different interests. Now you can see the CPC from the APC pulling out. That is the Buhari factor.
Yeah.
Buhari belongs and El-Rufai belongs from CPC. You see CPC, AMPP, some PDP and some APUGA.
Yes.
And the one headed by the current president, ACN, they came together with intention. The only intention is to remove PDP from power, to remove Jonathan. Okay, now they have achieved that. Now they can say that even Buhari did not want Tinubu at the last minute to succeed him, but he was so feeble about that, and Tinubu bulldozed and got to power and formed government and excluded the CPC. So the CPC people now we are going to their boss, General Buhari, to take permission to leave, and he said, "Go ahead." That their permission is granted. El-Rufai did that, and other people are doing that. And so many people who have even been accommodated, who are not sitting pretty in this current administration of Ahmed Tinubu, are also planning to leave. They might leave at the last moment so that they will just continue to be here. Some of them, their souls and their spirit is in the opposition, while their body is still in APC. Ditto with PDP. A lot of people are still in PDP. Their body is still there, like I can give an example of Nyesom Wike and some other people, but their spirits are also looking elsewhere to go and sojourn. Now, I want to say that the coalition, they are thinking that if they come together, that people are no longer open to that. PDP, having done their homework, the PDP governors are now saying that they will rather use the energy and the resources to build coalition, because you can see what is going on. There's a PPA between Azikiwe and Awolowo, shortly after MPN won election. Now, the MPN had an amalgamation, a kind of coalition, so that they gave MPP Senate president, they gave them speaker, they gave them so many other positions and some ministers. But at a point, that coalition broke down. Now, MPP now came to UPN. They have PPA. So, but at a point, interests did not, harmonize.
Right.
Now, this time around, those interests, who will become the president, whose candidate will come up, who will step down, who will they put forward, who is the most popular candidate? That is the issue. So you can see Labour have gone to try to put their party together so that when they go to the negotiating table, they can now negotiate with their party, the party strength, the party prospects, and they now say, look, this is who we are. Give me the ticket. Now, PDP now have not put their house in order. So that when you come, you now negotiate. You see, that time it was Buhari that was a common candidate.
Yeah.
Others, even though Atiku said they contested, Buhari won the primary, they supported. That's not the case. Everybody was looking upon Buhari. What they wanted to do is that they come together and form around Buhari, and Buhari won. This time around, they don't have that kind of personality. Who will not? So because even PDP do not want to give Atiku ticket again. Now, Labour will prefer that will be thrice. And you can see Adebayo SDP is saying that, oh, this is my enclave. If they come, they will behave according to our own rules. So the truth is that they still have that tendency of splinters. Those who they could not, that rainbow coalition, that Ezu and Mamu River cannot mix together. Even if when they meet, they will keep their colors. So what I find out, my observation is that it is not going to work.
It's not going to work.
It is not going to work. I can tell you now that if care is not taken, if PDP does not work quickly and speedily to rebuild their party, they are now just handing over, a return ticket to Tinubu. The only problem Tinubu have now is those CPC people, because the vote he got came from the north. If you go to the schemes and the way the structure of the results, didn't get up to 50% from Southwest, where he comes from. He didn't get from South, South, and Southeast. So the majority of the vote, remember, the first time somebody who became president scored less than 10 million. Buhari has been hovering between 15 and 18 million. Each time he contested, even if he will lose. But this time around, P2B caught the vote of PDP. Scored 6 million plus. Atiku scored 6 million plus. Then the man from NMPP, Wakwanso, scored 1 million plus, and Kano. Now, assuming they come together, now assuming the voting pattern also assume the same what happened in 2023, then it is very likely, because that northern votes, those 10 governors that El-Rufai assembled, and they now had an arrangement, may not work in favor of Tinubu. But from what soundbite, it was even El-Rufai that first sounded that he can never work with PDP. That PDP have to come to him. So when they separate now, all men to their tent, O Israel, then you can see that the coast is clear for the incumbent. You can see that some people say that Obi contestant was advantageous to APC. The same SDP will now go and eat into the votes of APC. But if PDP could not put their house in order, they will not be able to win the presidency. But if they quickly go and put their house in order, take charge, have their functional national working committee and NEC and their national convention, then they put their house in order and begin to build on trust and confidence of the people. But if they continue to speak, the governors will speak separately, Atiku will speak separately. There's an Atiku factor, because the 6 million vote Atiku won. Some of them were because of PDP. Majority of the reason was because of Atiku's contacts nationwide. So even though he didn't score much from Southeast, he scored more votes from South than Southwest. The other remaining big votes he got were from the North. So as we are speaking, APC have their problem, Labour have problem, and PDP has problem. The truth is that APC's problem is not coming to the fore because of the presidency. So the presidency is like the headmaster. He has the cane and he has the carrot. So he can whip anybody into line.
Is that the reason why he is so curious about Rivers State? Given that if CPC moves, I mean, it's going to be a problem because...
Well, yes, let me tell you why he's fighting to take Rivers State. I think that was assignment, I presume, that was assignment they gave to Eson Wike to bring Rivers State. Remember, they have Lagos, Kano, and Rivers State as swing states. And as we speak, during the 2023 election, the president did not win Kano. Actually. He did not win Lagos. He did not win Rivers.
Well, he won Rivers.
No,
according to the numbers.
No, what we know, you say, leave INEC. Okay, let us say INEC. But how many votes did he win? in South. So he didn't win enough votes. How can Rivers register more than 4 to 5 million votes and he scored less than 1 million? Do you understand? Even Lagos has up to 20 million people living there, more than 10 million registered voters, but they could not get up to 2 million votes coming out from Lagos. The same thing with Kano. So they wrote the results. I'm sorry to say that is what happened. They juggled the results. The true results were not reflected. You can see also Lagos is having problem now. The House of Assembly, the structure of Agege and the Mushi and the Surulere is playing out there. They have now, the National House of Assembly in Lagos State have gone on Senate die. They have been adjourned thy kingdom come because the speaker was removed, and by virtue of executive fears from somewhere, the boss of the bosses asked them to return the speaker that is not aware. It's like a coup. So they refused. Now he used magical powers and returned him, and the other people refused to sit with Obasa. And as we speak, he cannot, they cannot sit now, cannot reconvene. And the governor is also having the hammer of Democrat flowing on his head, because if they resume and agree that they work together, I think they will now use the House of Assembly to impeach the governor, because the president is having squabbles. And if you have squabbles with the president, you get the hammer. So it is now good for the governor that they don't have House of Assembly. It is also good for the speaker. They don't have House of Assembly, because they can also come to impeach him again. Because as far as they are concerned, those 32 House of Assembly members do not, don't have any interest again, because they know that they will not be given ticket, yes, for having disobeyed in impeaching, in working against the interest of their guy without, consulting him. They've already committed the first sin. So even the traditional rulers in Lagos who are supporting those impeachment have also had their security the same withdrawn. So there's a lot of, it is fluid now. It's the party who goes first to consolidate, to arrange, to bring themselves up to speed that can survive. No party can now, boast of being sure, even though I know that APC have a cutting edge, because they have the presidency. The presidency is like everything. That is why you can call them. They have not had any, they don't have board of trustees. They have not been meeting. That was the past first, complaint of El-Rufai. Now, how can a party stay for 2 years without meeting, both at the ward level, at state level, no congresses, no election, no meeting? Everybody just staying quiet. Because it has become a one-man affair. Have become a company that you have the CEO, others are just shareholders. So that is what he complained, and that exactly we play along this. That Buhari factor, that is what they are now running. And Buhari is a firm person. He told them we cannot stop them from leaving. He told them that he will stay. He has no, as long as he's not contesting for election, it is only one vote that he can guarantee. He will vote for APC. He can also come and campaign and but his followers know that his body language is no longer dancing for APC. Because those people living, they are living with a cause. They have a reason. Right. That they are in accommodation, that they are not accommodated in this, this Tinubu government. So as we speak, in another media, I was asked whether democracy is declining. I say yes. Democracy is declining. You can see what's going on in Rivers State as a reference point. Somebody, a civilian democratic president, now going to the barracks to fish a sole administrator to come and govern like a military man. And they're saying the constitution is suspended in Rivers State. That is the reason. How can you suspend the constitution? It is treason to remove a government without following the due process. It is high treason.
It's stunning, really. I mean,
yes.
It's unfair.
Go and find out what is treason. What is the meaning of a treason, and how it happened without impeachment, without resignation, without incapacitation. So, what do we call it? Using force to remove a government, no parliament, no executive, one person, and they are now saying that the local government election. Supreme Court said that don't give money to local government unless by true constitutional means, but they are now appointing the same caretaker, and money was released. So it means that there's a military government, right, or zero government in Rivers State.
Right.
So the democracy is declining as far as I'm concerned.
So with that, we may not necessarily have an election come 2027 with what you have
Well,
said.
they can choose to put fire, like somebody promised that if anybody put mouth in my case, I will put fire in his state.
Just like Bayelsa State.
So if they put fire in Bayelsa, put fire in Kano, put fire in Lagos, then there will be no election. So immediately the fire starts burning, then they will put a state of emergency and remove the democratic structures.
Wow.
That is it. Amechi said it. That is the resources of the state that they want to grab. And it is also open. That the resources is the important thing that I want to grab. And they're already sharing the looty booty.
Let's leave it there. Dr. Augustine Okolie, I mean, it's always interesting speaking with you, especially as it regards some of these issues. Dr. Augustine Okolie is a management and development consultant. I want to say a very big thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an interesting topic, and it is a developing story.
Indeed, it is indeed. I'm sure we're going to get you back to speak more on these issues.
Save Nature TV. News in your pocket.